G'day, it's 1:03 p.m, another strange time of the day to be taking photos, but I'm down at a place called Sugarloaf Rock where there's this really nice big rock that supposedly looks like someone's humped a whole bunch of sugar in the middle of the sea. And there's a couple of rocks here, so just sort of trekking down a path to see if we can get a better vantage point than the lookout. And then we'll use the big stopper, the lead big stopper, to really stop the light down and get some long exposures in the middle of the day and just see how that works out. Combined with the Cpl filter, we should be able to get something that looks good. So let's go make it happen.
Look, this is the life of a photographer. Have a look at it. Thinks it's something special. Unreal.
What a view. All right, so down at Sugarloaf Rock and sort of trek down a little bit closer to the action. And it's just an amazing location. 3 rocks, all the ocean coming in and creating whitewash all over the place. A little bit windy, so hopefully the wind noise is not too bad. Probably not if I face this way and block the wind. I'm going to try a few different things. I'm going to put the wide angle lens on and with my filters to get the long exposures. I might also then try, I think I'll do the a pano with either my 28 to 300 mm lens or my 45 mm tilt shift. I'll just have to see what angle of shot I get with either one. But I think this place really lends itself to a pano, but I've only got a circular polarizing filter for the 14 to 24. So being the middle of the day, I think I'm going to have to just stick with the wide angle lens and then maybe even crop a pano out for you. So I'll get set up and then I'll talk you through what I'm doing. All right, got a composition I'm happy with. I've got these 2 rocks. It's just my lens, being this close now, is not wide enough to get all 3 rocks. So I will try a panoramic. Maybe even with this lens, I'll flick it into portrait mode afterwards. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick my Lee filter holder on there, and that way I can put my Cpl filter on, and then I can put my ND filter on. That'll help me get a long exposure. Now I'm not going to hang this off the tripod because of the wind. As it is, the filters will create enough vibration to probably cause me some grief. So I just need to be careful I'm not shaking the camera around too much. And that's really important with long exposure photography. So we'll put the ND filter in after I get the CPL set. And the way that, in fact, no, I'll show you, I can do it this way. I don't need to do that. Actually, I'll put this in first. So it goes in the first slot to block out all the light to the lens. And my ball head just moved. I need to now reset my composition. So whilst this travel tripod is okay, it's a bit of a pest because it doesn't tighten off as tight as my other one easily. Now that's the Benro BH2, I think it is. So it's okay for a cheapie, but it doesn't compare to the, it doesn't want to go in there for some reason. I don't want to force it, so I need to pull it back out. Yeah, something's jamming. So I need to have a look and see why is something jamming. Not sure, I'll just slide it in now whilst I've got it in my hand, just to make sure everything's okay. It's really tight for some reason. Something's happened. Anyway, it's okay. Get my fingerprints off of there. And the good thing with the Lee filters is you don't need to worry too much about which way you put the big stopper in, but always have the writing facing out on all your filters. I've just found it gives you a better result. So we'll put that back on, tighten it on, make sure it's nice and tight, flip it around, because now what I do is get my Cpl filter. Okay, once again, nice glass filter, be careful with it, very expensive, nearly $300 for this one. And what I'll do, make sure the writing is facing out, and then I'll just twist it, and I can pretty quickly see. Can you see that through there, boss? The difference? They see there, that cuts out the reflections when I go like that.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll pop that in the front holder. Alrighty, now I've got that in, I need to close off the eyepiece. stop the light going in there, otherwise it'll ruin my long exposure. And I've got it at f9 and it's telling me it needs 8 seconds. This is on aperture priority. So I'm just going to let it do its thing and then we can check the preview, see how it goes. I'll use the Hoodman, it's very hard to see what's going on. Press play, let's have a look. Now I actually think that's a bit dark. So I'm going to go into manual and I'm going to go stay at f9. I'm going to bring it up to 13 seconds at f9 and see how that goes. But I think that was a little bit dark. Sometimes the metering gets a bit confused, depends where it's metering off of. Yeah, it's slightly overexposed where the water's crashing over those rocks. So I'll just take it back to 10 seconds and now all I'm going to do is just wait until they're my test shots. Waiting for the water just to rush over those rocks at the right time when the waves come in. Snap the shot and that way I get the shot that I want with the water movement that I want. So it's in the middle of an exposure right now. I can see another wave coming, so I won't check that one yet. Waves coming in now, waves coming in. Press the shutter button. So we know we've got a 10-second exposure. There we go, waves about to crash over those rocks. I probably pressed it just a tad too early. Wasn't a big enough wave anyway, so I'll wait for a bigger wave to come in and we'll take another shot. All right, so I've just done some 10-second exposures. I'm pretty happy with those. I'm just going to change my composition because I think with the cloud moving in the sky, the winds, I don't know if you can hear how strong the wind is, but it's really windy. So the clouds are moving pretty quick. So I'm going to raise my camera up. Now to change your composition with live view, open your aperture right up to 2.8 or whatever your maximum aperture is, and your live view will actually show you enough to be able to see what you're doing. Don't touch your focus, of course, because you don't want to lose your focal point. But I'm going to level things up. Put the horizon in the middle, which once again is normally a no-no, but I'm going to crop this into a nice panoramic image. So I've already got an image in mind of how I'm going to do this. Get rid of that info, put it back to what I had it on, which was f9. Once it's too dark to see anything now, and I'm going to take that shot. Big wave just coming in now, so I'll just start that shot right now and we'll see what we end up with. But what an amazing place. And this, by the way, points west, so if you're ever down here in WA, southwest WA, this is an amazing sunset location. An amazing sunset location. Where are we? We're at Cape Naturalist at Sugarloaf Rock. About, 30 minutes south of Bustleton or Bunbury. I'm just checking with Capitan back there. Bustleton. Well, he drove us here. Thought he might have some idea. So I'm now going to increase my aperture. I'm going to try and get a 20-second exposure and see if I can really get the cloud moving. So I've gone to f16, 20 seconds, and see what happens. 20 seconds. To do that during the day, the sun's just gone behind some clouds, so I shouldn't get too many of the highlights. Waves are crashing. My only risk is the wind is blowing this camera around a lot, where these big filters are like a big sail on the front. Could be vibrating the camera and making my image a bit blurry, but we'll have a look. We'll see what it looks like. Wow, that was way too dark. So I can probably go to a 30-second exposure at f16 and see what happens. And we may even spot some whales if we look out far enough. Top spot.
I can see one now.
Is that because I'm having a whale of a time?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so still underexposed. So what I'm going to do is knock it back to f13 at 30 seconds. So that must be because that sun has dropped. Yeah, it's definitely playing havoc now with my other settings. Yep. All right, so just about to wrap this up. Done my long exposures, really happy with those. Got the cloud movement and everything happening. It's very hard for me to check the sharpness of the shot because of the bright light and everything. So I'm not sure. I just did a bit of a check with the Hoodman loop, which is this here, and it looks like everything's nice and sharp on my long exposures. So hopefully it is. They'll look great. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just do some with just the circular polarizing filter. It's sort of doing, let me have a look here, f9 1/80th of a second, so really quick, no chance of any blur because of the wind. And then I'll try some, in fact we'll do that right now, let's try some, we'll flick this over this way. Of course, remembering now that I've got to flip my filter because of the CPL effect. And we'll just quickly do I'll zoom into 24mm, don't need to touch the focus. And we'll quickly do a panoramic, and not quite level there, but it'll be okay. I'll get away with it because of the width of the lens. So I'll just take a few shots, make sure they're overlapped like so. Just move it slightly. I'll probably take about 6 or 7 exposures, and I'll just then have a look at them all, make sure I'm happy with how wide I've gone. Because as soon as you stitch these in, and I've got some clipping as well, so I'm going to have to be careful there. Now, I know that I'm going to lose the very top of the frame, so I'm not too worried about clipping at the very top. But there is clipping there. All right, let's just check those. Have a look and see what we got. Yeah, so I could probably go a little bit more. I could probably go a little bit more to the left. I should try and level this up, but I'm not going to. What would I need to do? I need to bring that up a bit more. Maybe I'll put that on that rock there. Just try and level it up a bit more. Otherwise my horizon goes all crooked when I spin around. That's better. Alright, so I'm going to try and start as left as I can. I won't use all these images, I don't think. Yeah, I'm going to start there. And then I'm just going to take a stack of exposure. I'm just going to wind the exposure comp down to 2 stops of lights, or 2/3 of a stop rather. So I stop that clipping from happening. So I'm not even going to look at the pictures. I'm just going to move it slightly, take another image, knowing that they're overlapping. Really windy. So this will be about 11 exposures, I think, by the time I'm done. But I'll be able to stitch it together and get a really nice wide pano of this amazing location. And sometimes it's just about playing around and seeing what you get. Alright, I'll do one more at the end just for insurance. Actually, I'll do one more for insurance. That's my insurance shot there. Alright, well that's it. Hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up if you liked the video. Let other people know about it. And until next time, get out there and take some photos. Go and have some fun.